We're live.
All right. Hi, everyone. We are back for part 2 of our video series, which is us critiquing photos, our own photos. We realized that last video, because of the way we had the photographs ordered, we only got to Eric's pictures, but tonight we're going to be seeing some of mine. And again, just basically talking through why they didn't make it. And I think for this video series, we have some sort of pairs of images where we'll talk about why one was chosen and the other one was not.
Yes, I think there are a few of them that were chosen.
Okay.
If I remember. Yeah, I think so.
So let's start with the one we're looking at right now. This is another shot from our trip to Mexico, where we did a lot of work. This one, I think that I took this shot because I just thought the scene was very beautiful. This is one of those sort of beachy, islandy spots where you have sort of your spa set up right on the beach, a little massage table kiosk. And I was very attracted to just the flowy nature of the different textures that you had on scene. So we're on the beach, and we have all of these nice sort of sheer curtains. And it was a very peaceful, sort of serene scene, and I really wanted to capture that. And so I think I had a lot of shots sort of in and around this particular location.
Yes.
None of which I felt like really worked. And we're showing this one because, in my opinion, this one came the closest to working, but still we didn't end up using it for our purposes. So do you want to talk about a little bit of why we didn't select this one?
I mean,
It's okay, you can trash my photo. It's mine.
I know.
We're honest with our own work, so
no, true.
do your worst, Fouché.
I mean, I think you, as the photographer who took this, you had a vision, and then once you see on the 2D plane, you're the one that should be able to assess on whether, like, oh, this is not what I had in mind, or I thought it would look this way, whatever. So now that you have the result, I think you should be probably the first person saying,
Sure.
this is where it kind of fell flat.
Yeah, so for me, I think that there are definitely aspects of this photo that I like. I like the sort of shoot-through quality where you can tell where you are, but you still see the sand and sea in the background. What I think I failed to capture that I was going for is really the sort of locational feel, and how really out of place it felt to have this one little sort of oasis of luxury walking down that beach. So in retrospect, I kind of wish I would have backed out and shot it from a distance and include a little bit of perspective around that shot. I think that would have made a much more captivating image. This to me just looks like, yeah, this is definitely a shot of what was there, and it's fairly well exposed. So I don't think I could say that anything's very terrible about this. It's just sort of, meh.
Yeah.
I think this is, I think it's this for me. I think this is the kind of shot that you would expect anyone to have in a series of vacation photos. Look, I was walking along the beach. I just happened to see this. It's pretty cool, so I snapped a shot of it. But it doesn't look like anything really interesting. So to me, this is not one that I've chosen to include in my personal portfolio, basically because of that element. Just kind of looks like a snapshot.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you chose f8 to get most of the things in focus, which I guess is fine. I mean, it's sharp, the exposure. This is all straight out of the camera. Let's see if we're to edit to make it pop, to see if it's like, no, this is still a bad picture, which most likely is still going to be not usable.
Yeah.
But this is out of an average.
Just kind of trying to see how good can we make average.
Yeah, so we established
Okay,
that this area is going to be white,
Right.
most likely, or neutral. This gray also should be neutral, and this as well should be white or neutral. So with Lightroom, it's fairly easy to post-process your images pretty quickly. So you take the the little selector here and you select like a gray area. So that made it a little bit more neutral. And now you kind of select, go around, making sure that it doesn't shift on you that much.
Right.
And it's basically roughly the same. So the temperature is fairly cold here. That is, it pulls to the blue because it's in the shade.
Sure.
This color temperature here, because it's exposed to the sun, is going to be much warmer. So it's kind of normal that it's going to be a little bit on this side. So you can kind of overcompensate a little bit if you want to make it a little warmer, but at least we started with a clean baseline. Then the exposure is good, but then let's see what we have in the sky. The sky is not that super, there's no details in the sky, so even when you drop it.
Wasn't a great sky day.
No, so what you can do is to bring the exposure a little down, which means that all the shadows are a little dark, so you can bring the shadows back up. Well, it's not enough, so kind of like that, and probably bring the highlights down. It's still not super great.
You know what? I think that timing might have assisted me on this photo. If I remember correctly, I feel like we took this like maybe around 4 in the afternoon.
Yes.
I think this location might have benefited from sort of a golden hour shot if I could have gotten it early in the day or at sunset.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, the sun would set over there. So that would have been
nice.
That could have been backlit. So either it would have been in silhouette or bring, an extra light, which I don't remember if we brought some.
I don't think
strobes. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
But a basic adjustment here is to boost the colors a little bit and all that. So this is the before and after. It's just a little bit more vibrant.
It definitely helped.
But it doesn't make it doesn't turn it into a great picture.
No.
Again, could sharpen and things like that, and even a crop. I don't know where you would crop on this particular picture.
I don't think cropping helps us with this
guy. No, not really. So anyway, this is why this picture goes to the bin. But we kept it because for educational purposes and to see the progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, let's go to the next one.
Yep.
Okay, so I really wanted to talk about this one because I feel like this is something that happened to me all the time during the early days of learning photography. And it's that thing where you see something that you think looks really interesting or very colorful to you and you really want to capture it. And so on the day that I shot this, I thought, wow, what great colors, what interesting architecture on this building. Where we live, we don't see buildings that are constructed in this way. And I saw all of the detail on this very fine stained glass door, and I really wanted to capture that along with the different colors from the potted plants and a little bit of that. I don't even have the vocabulary to describe what type of roof that is. It's something I've seen before.
Terracotta kind of thing.
Maybe terracotta. So I really worked hard to capture the right exposure and the right depth of field to get this door. And I honestly don't have my C moving the exposure around. I think exposure can definitely be made nice. But at the end of the day, I don't see this as a photo that anyone wants to look at for any reason.
No.
I thought it was cool, but it's just not really a photo of anything. So kind of, I like this one because I feel like it represents the story of my early days of learning, where I worked on capturing a lot of things that to my eye at the time looked very interesting, and then you get the photo home and you see it later and you think, I can't imagine why anyone would want to look at that.
Yeah, but it's good also for experience. So that's very nice. I'm glad that you shot different things, and to see really when you're there, you think one way, and then you go home and that did not translate at all what I thought it was going to look like. And that's the whole, to me, the beauty of photography is that you're working, transforming a world, and you're trying to put it into a 2D flat surface.
Right.
And that's super hard because you don't have the depth anymore. So you have to create depth with lines and all the photography tools that we have, and with lights, shadows, with shadows and light, you can create depth. But if you don't have that, then it's super flat and very uninteresting. And yeah, and there's no subject. I guess the subject could be the door, but really it's not featured in a way of saying like, look at how amazing that door is.
See this door.
So
no, that's true, and I honestly just think it's a good example in the story of, when you're learning. To me, a lot of the learning centered around understanding the difference between what I like with my eyes and what I will like in a photograph later. And not so much that, kind of like you were saying, not that this subject couldn't have made an interesting photograph, but it isn't interesting in a photograph in the way it was interesting to my eye.
Right.
So just learning that I need to take pictures differently, so that I'll like the pictures even though I may have liked it with my eye a different way. And you know what, if someone showed me this picture and told me that they thought it was very amusing, they had taken this great picture, I wouldn't say it was bad. It is not a focus, it is underexposed. I'm not moved by it. If they were, I would say, fantastic. I don't know, maybe you have a future doing a series of doors. I don't know. Maybe an anthology of interesting doors.
Special collection.
More power to you. But just, it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, these were handheld.
Yes.
And it could have been used as a background for composite.
True.
But it's not sharp enough.
Yeah, true.
So...
Yeah. No, that's true.
So as a composite, still, I don't think it would work. But we're going to keep it. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But, yeah.
Maybe we'll just make more videos mocking it. I don't know. Maybe that's why we keep it.
Yeah, I think you pretty much summarized this.
Ooh, let's go to the next one. Okay, so, yeah, let's actually skip to here. I'd like to compare and contrast these next two. This is a shot that we did for a local tattoo studio, Taste of Ink Tattoos, actually. We love those guys. They actually do really amazing work. So this one we did, I don't know, a couple of months ago, maybe? So not that long. My focus for this shot was really to try and get the tattoo tattoo gun? Okay. The tattoo gun actually at work on the client's arm. And I actually was okay with this photo. I like that you do get the focus there where the work's going on the arm. I like that it's clear the job is in progress. And I really like the background blur on that wall behind the artist. So that one's okay. This isn't the one that we ended up delivering to the customer, and here's why. I took a second shot from a slightly different perspective, and on this one was actually able to capture more of the tattoo artist's face, which I really appreciate, and I think it did not detract the attention from the work of the tattoo gun, because for me, when I see this photo, my eyes go first to his eyes, and then I look to see what he's looking at, and he's looking at the tattoo gun. So I can still see what he's doing. I can still see the work that he's doing on his client's arm, but I just feel like it's a much stronger shot when I have more of his face, versus, let's go back to this one. He's much more in shadow. I can't really see his eye. But then in this one, I have him more present in the photo. And so that's why I chose to include this one, but not the other one.
Yeah, I agree. This picture is much stronger, and I like the intensity of how he's concentrating. Yeah. I like that. It feels peaceful, serene, but at the same time, he's like destroying your skin. I don't know. There's something cool about that, and the composition works better. This one is nice. The Dutch angle is nice, but you're right. I think it's the angle of his face, and yeah, the focus is more on the gun here more than his face. I definitely prefer that one. And we still know what's happening.
Yeah, I like seeing his face first and then the gun.
Yeah.
Also, can I just say, I really love all the work that he has on his own arm. So thanks, man, for having so many cool tattoos of your own that it really added some vibrance to the picture. I like those. Oh, yeah.
That was
We
the
did change the
original.
temperature.
Yeah. And of course, you can go with black and white and things like that.
Black and white, too.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that shoot was a lot of fun. That was a good day.
Yeah. Did you want to go back to this one?
Yeah. This one did not make the collection, mostly because, well, first of all, I took this one because I liked that it captured sort of the scene of all of the work going on in that shop on one day. However, the fact that the faces I can see are the ones in the blurred out background, and the in focus part in the foreground are the individuals where I can't see any faces. This one didn't work for me for that reason.
Yeah, it's a could have been. I mean, it's a little confusing. You're right. There's no
Yeah, it's a lot to
real
look at. I
focal-
don't feel like my eye knows where to go.
Yeah.
The fact that these guys back here are strongly highlighted by, I think we probably had some external lighting set up back there.
Yes.
So they're highlighted and then they're top of the frame. So your eye wants to go up here, but they're not in focus, but these guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one just didn't work out for me.
No, you're right. And I want to remind that, of course, these are the rejects. If you want to see, if you are interested in see actually what we liked and what we deliver the client and all that, it's all available on Facebook, on Prime Photography Austin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this session is part of the website. Probably not. It's definitely on Facebook. And you can see, you know, the pictures that we liked and that we think were much stronger.
Yeah.
You know, good lighting, better expressions, and then just more balanced. So,
Yeah.
of course, these
No.
are rejects. So
Please keep in mind, everything we're talking about on these videos are ones that we didn't deliver to a customer, but in our portfolio. Oh my God, what if people?
It's okay. They'll
What if
figure it
people
out.
watch this and go, they love these photos?
Right.
Crack is whack. That's all. We don't love these photos.
Nah, I think this one was part of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is an example of one that we actually did deliver, that we used, that we liked because of where the focus lies in the photo, and the fact that, you know, the individual getting the tattoo, that wasn't our client. Our client was the artist at the tattoo shop themselves. But I think this is a really nice example of, you know, this subject who's the lady getting the tattoo. I love that she's in profile, she's looking down, and because of where the light highlight falls around this area, that's definitely the place that my eye goes to first, which is what we wanted to highlight. And then you have the tattoo artist in profile, you have the tattoo customer in profile. I really, really liked the shot.
Yeah, it's a good environmental
Yeah.
portraits, if you will, documentary or kind of thing like that. But you're still using, you know, external light, because the light in the shop, like most tattoo shops, are very dark as halogen.
Yeah, they're setting
Lights,
they're
it's-
setting a mood for getting a tattoo. They're not setting a mood for taking photographs of getting tattoos.
So we definitely had to bring, you know, softbox and things like that to actually get some decent quality and to be able to, position the lights for how we wanted, without bothering them too. We didn't want to flash them, you know, constantly. So we kind of had to be there and get out. But I think, there's a few of them that I thought were really awesome. So, and they seem to like it. So,
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Yeah, definitely a great shoot. So how are we on time?
It's pretty good. Keep going.
Okay. All right, so this is another one of mine, which I chose to use for this video because I think it highlights some of the specific challenges involved in doing band photography work, which we've done a lot of. This was taken at the Swan Dive here in Austin, which I think is a pretty awesome venue. I really liked it.
It's pretty neat, yeah.
So far we've only been there for work when we've been shooting, but I'd love to go back just to have a drink or two and enjoy the location. It's a nice place. This one though, so my goal at the time that this photo was taken was to get a shot of the entire band, which happened. However, we definitely have a framing issue with the fact that I completely cut off this poor gentleman's elbow and really just skated it close with getting all of the guitar included on this side, which I'm not typically comfortable with that tight of a framing or crop, so it's definitely not something I would have chosen to do if I had the opportunity to go back and retake this one. Likewise, over here, I'm not capturing even all of this guitar player's hand, and I certainly don't have the neck and head of the guitar, which I would want to do. It's taken from a little bit of a side angle, which would have been fine. Main problem for me is here in the center of the shot. We have the keyboard player and the bass player, and I've got all of this hardware mechanism just right over the top of that guy's face. So I think that I needed to shoot from a different angle, from a different height. This just didn't work. I like the exposure, the colors are very nice. All of those gentlemen are very, very nice, talented local musicians, but I just missed this one. Just a miss.
Yeah, and this place is notorious to have like extremely bad light. I remember Damien was like, no, it's not even,
right.
Don't even try, basically.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
it's he with no expectations. And yeah, as you can see, ISO 8000, at 2.8, pretty much not fully wide open, probably because you are at an angle, but 2.8 is pretty fast. 200th of a second, so it's not even like to completely freeze motion. Here they weren't moving that much,
right?
But it's very, very low light, and really with our eyes, it's probably what our eyes actually were looking. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it was challenging from a light perspective.
So no, I agree. The composition is not good. There's too much ceilings. There's no the main. They're hidden by all this whole microphone stands, and there's no focal point.
No, that's very true.
Even if you took the hardware out, you're like, well, are we taking like a band? But then the drummer is completely hidden, so it's not the band.
That's a good point. I actually forgot there was a drummer. I don't know what I thought all those cymbals were doing in there.
I mean, he looks like he's playing the bongos or congas or whatever you call those, bongos, I think, and it's really scattered. One thing you could have done to remove these middle parts here is the further you go in an angle.
True, I'm going to decrease that distance.
You decrease, yes. Yeah. So they would have been much more in line. Up to, like, if you completely on this left side, that it would be the thickness of one guy, really, to exaggerate, So that, but still, and actually, it's probably some other pictures that we chose, you were probably at a better location.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do. And photoshopping, removing the microphone stands, no, because you first of all don't want to waste time because you actually were able to capture better pictures, you know, to correct this from the camera. So.
No, that's totally true. Sorry, I was just trying to get a sneak preview of what we're about to look at. Yeah, you want to talk about these guys?
Yeah. I kind of like this. This is kind of like dynamic, even though he's looking away. But I don't know. There's like, it feels like fairly okay, 15 mil. So that's not bad. It's not bad. He feels very much in the moment. I'm not sure I like this, so that could be cleaned up in Photoshop.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I could clean that up also in Photoshop to be more, but I like that you can see the Marshall amp head, and I don't know, I like the balance of the picture. I like the colors, and yes, he's looking away, but I don't know.
I feel like he's looking away having a moment.
Right.
You know, like having that musician moment where you're just like...
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's rock and roll, and I'm sure you can work on it to make it, whatever, but this is pretty neat. I'm okay with that.
I think that, I'll be honest, I really don't remember why we included this one, but I think it might have been
we may not
because
have.
We wanted to contrast it with this.
Yeah, I think both of them were rejects, but I think this one was the closest to this one we wanted to talk about. Yeah,
I think that the fact that the guitar head in this picture is actually obscuring his face, and the depth. Sometimes I think the depth can be cool and create sort of like a 3D concept effect where his hands on the guitar neck is close to me and out of focus, and then I have his face. But for this one, I don't think I succeeded in capturing that kind of look. I'm not getting a 3D feel. I'm just feeling a stacked on top of 2D his hand and the guitar head are bigger than his face sort of look. So this one, I think you're right. I don't think we delivered either, but this one is definitely, in my opinion, an example of the worst. The worst example compared to,
Yeah, this one is more dynamic. Yeah. There's something
that
happening.
That one to me is at least usable versus this one is...
Right, it's a miss.
Immediate in the trash.
Yeah. And this is completely raw, flat. There's no color, anything bound. This is really...
Plus, yeah.
I mean, this is it. So, considering the amount of light, it was pretty challenging. Like, even just to get a focus.
Yeah.
This is like, the camera's like, bzz, bzz, where am I? I don't know.
Remember I was using, I think it was our 90mm. That's known to be slow to focus. I was just standing there in the middle of the dance floor like...
Yeah, and even in manual, even your eyes can't really see, so you don't even know. Yeah, it's that was very challenging. And I've done a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Much easier than this particular location. Much easier. This one was pretty challenging.
Well,
but anyway,
maybe in the future we reserve this one dive for casual cocktail having and
less
for trying to actually.
But that was a good example of working with very low light.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And that was the whole purpose of like low light churches for the wedding business and things like that. And so what a better way when you have people moving around, not knowing where they're going to be located in no light. That's very good exercise.
Yeah, no, that's true. When subjects are moving, so you need to use faster shutter speed, which means you're going to get less light, but it's already dark.
Mm-hmm.
You're bumping your ISO as much as you have to.
Yep.
No, that's true.
Next.
All right, so we did that guy. So this guy,
bumped the ISO to 10,000. He was really in the corner.
He was in the dark.
Yeah.
So I took a few different shots of this guy. So I think that this one ended up being the closest to usable, just because you actually do have some light and you can make out part of his face. This one, I got a great shot of his guitar, I will say.
What is that, a beaver or no? That it casts his own shadow, so you have a few more weeks of.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah.
He saw his shadow. Yeah.
Is that a beaver?
That is a
marmot.
Groundhog.
Marmot.
Don't.
Groundhog. From the movie Groundhog Day, of course.
Marmot. Stop it.
It's a marmot.
Nice marmot. So yeah, this one, definite miss. His face is completely in shadow, so of course that one wasn't usable. And really, you can see his face in this one, but it's just not compelling or anything like that. I would have definitely expected this shot from anyone standing roughly where I was located using an iPhone. This one came out a lot better just because you do have more even lighting and you can make out his face. So closest to a win there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Interesting color choice here. Definitely, this one is definitely stronger. I like his face, his hair. Yes, is in his face, flyaways and all that. But for some reason, it works because it feels somewhat dynamic. Good angle. The microphone is not touching him, or so that's pretty good. And again, pretty good exposure. Of course, it's going to be noisy, but
right.
But you can actually work on this picture.
That's the other thing I hated about this one is the microphone is in his nose, which is always something that bothers me.
And his look also, like he looks like he's mad at something. I prefer this more like just more intense. Yeah, and even though the fingers cut off, for some reason it doesn't bother me really that much.
Yeah.
No. Does it? Yeah.
No, I'm okay.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Okay, let's show them what I did to Damien, because I know we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
So, all right, so...
We'll show the three of them.
I will.
Maybe.
I will. I can't show them all at once, can I?
No.
Patience, my son.
Mommy?
Gross, shut up. Anyway. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I really wanted to capture a photograph of the lead singer of this band singing into this very interesting microphone
set up. There's like 2 of them in there.
I know. And just capture sort of his moment. Unfortunately, I had a giant stand from, I don't remember what, but some other piece of equipment going on. So I shifted my perspective slightly so that I could try to still get him, but exclude that giant metal rod bisecting his face. So then my second attempt was this, where I had successfully removed the giant metal rod, but unfortunately I had a giant shadow of, I don't know what again, but I'm assuming might have been the same metal rod. So I would have liked this picture because I like his expression. I think that was a great moment, but I've got a giant shadow going exactly over his eyes. So I can't use this for anything because I don't have the eyes of the musician. Next attempt, this one is a much stronger shot. I still don't think that we used this for anything.
We didn't.
But at least this one doesn't have any obvious in the trash indicators. This one had to go immediately in the trash. Same for this one. Obvious problems. This one could have actually been usable. Apparently I found a way to dial it back to a much more acceptable 8,000 ISO. So don't expect any noise on this one.
Now, this one would be the most acceptable between the 3, but fortunately, you had way better pictures than this. So why keep that one when you have the same one but much better?
Yeah.
So, and I think you pretty much got it. I mean, this is right. Location, your location, because of course you're not going to ask the musician to position himself.
Right.
Sorry,
Could
sir.
you just pivot? I'm sorry.
So you just have to move yourself because you can change the front, the middle, and the back just by moving. Not a whole lot sometimes. You just a few inches, a few feet. You can change completely the picture. So very good call on moving, on shifting yourself. Now on this one, this shadow is coming from his guitar neck.
You think? Where's the light?
Because the light was on the floor on the right side.
You're right.
And it was shooting upward, which is a terrible lighting setup. Because you cast like, this is Halloween light. This is not good.
You hold the flashlight under your chin.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, of course, it was casting under his guitar, and then bam, hitting in the face with a shadow missing from the thing. So, I mean, this is the way how the light was. So, what are you gonna do? So you just have to hope that the light they're gonna flicker, so not shine.
Give you a moment.
Or when they change the mood and they kind of raise and lower and all that kind of stuff, or have a stronger light that would overpower the other one. So it's a cat and mouse kind of game. We just have to play with the lights. What's happening when they move? Sometimes they move in a location. Bam! You cast shadow. You just wait and then move up. There you go. You hit it.
Right.
But that's what makes live bands very challenging, but very interesting if you want to do it right. Because really, taking a picture straight, it's fairly easy, but to get it just right, it's not that easy. And you have to encounter also the light, the temperature. When you cast green on skin rarely looks good. So that means you're going to have, and also here you have 2 tones. You have green here from the main spot over there, which they had some overhead. And then you have some down of reds and yellows and things like that. So now you have those 2 very contradicting colors, which in real life look pretty cool, but on photos, I mean, it's pretty, for 1/25th, that's pretty good, babe. Pretty good details. That could be enlarged fairly.
Oh, it's so noisy.
Well, it's completely unprocessed. That can be enhanced. That can be, there's little, no, that could be cleaned up easily. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is straight out of the camera. Before, after, same. You reset. Yeah, nothing. So, not bad. Not bad at all. So those are all the challenges. And I think we ran out of time.
Yeah, we probably need to wrap this up. Yeah. Thanks for being with us, everyone.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.
See ya.